Welcome to TBA, I'm Brad.
I'm Caitlin.
And today we've got a jam-packed show. We're looking at the Debating Society, and we've got somebody in the studio to talk about Are You OK Day.
But first off, let's get to News of the Week.
Hi, I'm Kyla Rose and this is the News of the Week. Mother Nature threw another curveball at America with Hurricane Irma raging through Florida and the Caribbean this past week. The hurricane category has been downgraded to a tropical storm, but nonetheless, Irma has caused $180 billion worth of damage and claimed a total of 43 lives. North Korea have rejected the UN Security Council's sanctions against them following the latest hydrogen tests conducted in the country. These sanctions aim to restrict North Korea's oil imports, cease further overseas labour contracts, suppress smuggling efforts, and stop joint ventures with other nations. North Korea have threatened that the United States will soon face the greatest pain it has ever experienced. An elite private school in Brisbane has been put into lockdown after a guard was repeatedly stabbed by an intruder at around 5:30 Wednesday morning. A manhunt is now underway for the offender who fled the scene. The guard is in a stable condition. How keen are you for the release of the new iPhone 8? Are you willing to camp out for 10 days to get your hands on it? Well, one man, Mazan Karachi, and two of his mates are taking shifts in front of the Apple store on George Street in Sydney to make sure they are first in line to purchase the phone. It is rumoured that the iPhone 8 will be released for pre-order on the 22nd of September. And that's the News of the Week. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Kyla. Are you an iPhone person, Kate?
I am an iPhone person.
Why? I just have to wonder, why is there no iPhone 9? Because they've got the 7 and the 8, and then they're doing the 10 for the 10th year anniversary, but there's no 9.
Oh, we're going to have to leave it up to the Apple.
I think it's because 7, 8,
Okay.
9.
Okay. All right, now we're going to have a look at the UAW Debating Society.
UAW Debating Society hosted a special session in front of the library on Tuesday as part of UAW Goes Global. With the topic that we regret the rise of globalization, this demo session aimed at a more innovative way of debating for university students and is an introduction for their great debate with the topic of RUK Day on Thursday.
The Debating Society was formed at UAW around 6 or 7 years ago, and since then it's grown quite a lot. And something we're really proud of, and something that has made our involvement with UAW Goes Global really easy, is that we have a diverse range of students from a diverse range of cultural backgrounds. One of our speakers in the debate today is from Malaysia, one of our speakers has a Russian background, and we do also have international students from Asia and Europe as well. So it's something that we're really proud of, and so that I think is an area where we've been able to do really, really well and fits with the theme of this event. So we think it's really important to raise awareness of global issues at a time where the university is looking into the different ways that the global community is represented on campus and how it's affecting our lives. And so what we're doing today is raising a bit of awareness and a bit of discussion about the impacts of globalisation. That is our topic for today's debate. And so we're looking at whether that has been beneficial in terms of increased engagement with different cultures around the world, or whether it's been a bit of a harm, specifically economically, in terms of the impact that's had on industry and things like that. So that's what we wanted to achieve out of today.
The topic for today's debate is that we regret the rise of globalisation. So kind of looking at, from our side of the debate, what globalisation does, why is that a bad thing, why would we regret the fact that it exists, what would the alternative be like, why would we prefer that, and what impact does this have on the world in both developed and undeveloped nations. Firstly, I think it's really good for just like knowing more. There's been a lot of times where I've done debates about topics that I don't know anything about, and you just learn from other people, you learn what they know, but you also get that communication skills. If you'd asked me to have done something like this maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I'd probably have said no without a second thought, whereas now I'm totally open for it because I'm able to talk in front of people, I'm able to do things in public, and it just means that I'm more comfortable speaking in front of other people, and I think that's a really valuable thing.
Well, if you're like me and you like arguing with strangers in public, you definitely want to get down and check out the UAW debating team.
Okay. Well, now we're joined with Nine and Matthew from the UAW Wellbeing.
And now in the studio we have Nine and Matthew, who is the Wellbeing Coordinator at UAW and who's been very busy organising the Are You OK Day events here on campus.
So first things first, what are these initiatives that you've been running?
Just for today?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've just got tea and cakes. A cake which is in the shape of Are You OK, which is graciously donated by the Food Enthusiast Society, and we've got these little cards made up which basically talks about what Are You OK is and what do you do if they're not okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about the overall initiative?
Sure. So Are You OK is a suicide prevention charity. They focus their efforts on the one day, but they run a longer campaign around it. So it's all got to do with preventing suicide rates in the general population. This week is Suicide Prevention Week as well. So it falls in quite well that Are You OK Day is within that week.
Now, obviously, there's a big push this year to sort of talk about what to say when somebody responds that they're not okay when they're sort of asked that question. So what sort of things are we doing about that?
So if someone says that they're not doing all right, the best thing is to ask if they're having suicidal thoughts and ask a very direct and unambiguous question saying, are you having thoughts of suicide or are you thinking about killing yourself? They're hard and difficult questions to ask, and it's a very confronting question, but it's a question that you have to ask, and more often than not you will get a response saying that if they are feeling suicidal, they'll come out and tell you, and it's a good conversation starter so that they can go and get some help.
If someone does respond saying that they're not okay, where is the best place to get advice?
You can take them up to UAW counselling, so they have a triage service in place now, so there's no longer waiting times and things like that. You can see someone right away. There are priority appointments set up there as well. You can also come to UAW Wellbeing, which is on level 1 in building 11. Someone is always there and you can come and have a chat with us. Everyone's mental health first aid trained, so we can do some sort of acute intervention as well.
And is there a way that students can sort of get involved with helping out with the sort of cause? Or
Yeah, absolutely. So UAW Wellbeing works with the Are You OK Foundation as well, so we sort of plan up for the day. We also plan activities all throughout the year, and everything that we do is around mental health and well-being, so it's not just the preventative sort of thing, it's more about proactive intervention around mental health and well-being. So you can join up to be an ambassador with us, which is our volunteer team. You can also be a student leader with us, where we pay you a lot of money to help us out, and yeah, I think that's the best way to get involved. And if that's too much of a commitment, come and join one of our mental health first aid courses. It's for free. It's usually about $300 out in the community, and we give it to you for free. Come and join the course. It's a 2-day course. You learn everything to do with mental health first aid. Suicide prevention is a significant portion of it, so come and do that.
Is mental health issues becoming more of a problem within today's society, have you noticed?
It is, especially within the university student population that we have. So last year I went to a symposium on mental health for university students, and they've been doing a longitudinal study since 1980, but how mental health issues have arisen since then. So it's been an upward curve all the way through, and the reason behind it is that there's so many stresses on a university student's life compared to 10 years ago even. Like, you've got social pressures, you've got academic pressures, and if you get a bachelor's degree, is that enough? Are you going to get a job? Before, yeah, 20 years ago, absolutely. If you're at university, you'll get the best job possible. Now, if you have a bachelor's degree, maybe not. I should do a master's degree, and it's like an arms race of a degree, and then you do your PhD, and then they tell you you're overqualified for any job, so you don't have a job again. So, yeah.
Do you have any tips to help students relieve stress?
Do positive mental health habits, so everything to do with physical exercise. So we sort of go on the framework of the Wheel of Wellbeing. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on our centre. So it's got 6 sectors of a wheel, so body, mind, spirit, people, place and planet. So body is to be active, so exercise props up your mood. Mind is to keep learning, so learning something new every day helps. Not just your studies, but something beyond your studies. Spirit is to give, so everyone knows that gratitude is good for us. Being altruistic is good for us as well, so that's that. And then people is to connect, so connecting with someone else, which Are You OK Day is part of as well, is to strike up a conversation. Place is to take notice, so being mindful of where you are. And planet is to take care of the environment, which is again part of positive mental health.
All right, thank you very much. It's obviously a very important issue, so thank you for coming in and
That's right,
highlighting
thank you.
Now, on the topic of positive well-being, we sent one of our most handsome blonde reporters down to Innovation Campus this week to try a little bit of yoga, so we should check that out. I'm Brad Sullivan and I'm here at Innovation Campus for the IC Active Week, and this morning at 2 early o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be doing some yoga. Let's go and check it out. What did we do today?
So today we just held a free yoga class in the morning for the Innovation Campus's Active Week. We did an hour-long just sort of morning flow yoga, just something to help start the day. It really helps stretch out and open up the muscles in the back. It's something I think is especially important for university students and employees, because I think most of us spend most of the day just sitting at a desk or in front of a computer, so it's really helpful to be able to like open and stretch. But also there's like a breathing and a meditative aspect to it that helps sort of relax and calm the mind and sort of help you focus a little bit better when you do get back to your work.
So could you tell us a little bit about IC Active Week and what we were doing here this morning?
Yeah, IC Active Week is made up of 3 days over here at the Innovation Campus. It's brought to you by UAW Pulse in conjunction with Uni Active as well. And IC Health here on campus is helping us out with a few different things. We're looking to make this a more active campus than it already is, and there's a lot of things that go on. There's soccer tournaments on Wednesday afternoons, and we get over here for different things throughout the course of the year. But as the weather gets better, the idea is to get outdoors and do a few things, and make sure the students cash in on those health benefits that they can have.
What brought you here this morning?
I just got an email about yoga on Innovation Campus, and I usually do yoga at main campus, so I thought I'd try it out.
Why did you come along this morning, Ali?
Well, my friends told me about it last night, so it was quite a last-minute decision. But yeah, I didn't know there was free yoga. I thought it was on the main campus.
So what made you come along this morning?
What made me come along this morning was like I like to start the day relaxing, doing a little bit of sport, and also it was in a terrace, so it was very nice practice yoga with the sun and the warm weather.
So how did you find that experience?
It was very relaxing. I'm not generally a very flexible person, but what can you do? Up next, we have Stuart with the weather. Accurate weather.
If you're anything like I am, you want accurate weather. And that's why you get a little bit peeved off when mainstream news organisations get the weather wrong. For some, it can mean turning up to uni with a wet beret, or others having a dry white t-shirt. That's why here at UAW TV, we're proud to present you the most accurate weather broadcast by giving you the weather of the weeks past. Over to you, Stuart. Hi, I'm Stuart Thompson, and I'm out here braving the wild conditions to give you the weather of last week's past. Last Thursday boasted excellent conditions for getting out there and having a bit of a play, with tops of over 19 degrees. Friday also saw Wollongong boasting some nice conditions with a top of 19 degrees. Perfect temperature for dipping your toe in the water, but not too far in, as this time of year the water can still be a little bit chilly. I hope you had a lazy and rugged up Saturday, as it was quite a mild one with tops of 15 degrees and a minimum of just 8. Thankfully, Sunday was slightly warmer than Saturday, reaching tops of 17 degrees. What a perfect temperature for naturally softening your butter for any baking exploits. On Monday, it was back off to uni again, and despite the content not being so welcoming, at least the weather put on a bit of a show for us, with tops of 23 degrees. And yes guys, that means you can get your thongs out again. Tuesday was a real treat, because if you stayed inside all day like I did, it was a constant room temperature. Unfortunately, due to our strive for accuracy, we're unable to bring you the temperatures for today and yesterday, but no need to worry, as we'll be bringing them to you in next week's show. This has been Stuart Thompson reporting.
Thanks, Stuart. I don't know about you, but softening butter in cold weather is just a nightmare.
Well, he's definitely given us accurate weather. So now the girls are back in the kitchen with a brand new recipe for us.
Hey guys, welcome to the 12th segment of Food for Thought. This is a segment where we show you how to make cheap and nutritious foods. Yep, so today we're going to show you how to make homemade strawberry popsicles.
Yeah, now that the weather is getting a lot warmer, we thought we'd make a snack that will cool you down and has hardly any ingredients. 3 ingredients, so it's super simple to do, and I hope you guys like it.
Yeah, so the ingredients that you will need are frozen berries, a banana, milk of your choice, we're using soy milk, popsicle molds, and a blender.
Okay, so let's get started. You want to add about a cup of berries. If you don't have frozen berries, that's okay, just add normal berries. Do you want to add your banana? And lastly, you want to add your milk of choice. Blend it all up, and then you're gonna pour it in the popsicle molds. Alright guys, so this is some final product. Here we have our strawberry popsicles. Yeah, let's try them. Really very icy.
The flavor's really strong.
Yeah, the flavor's quite crazy.
Thanks for watching guys, and we hope you liked today's recipe.
Join us next time when we show you how to make more nutritious and even cheaper food.
Well, I suppose it's a good thing with summer coming up to get those popsicles made. Up next, we have the Muse.
Welcome back to the Muse, and we have another juicy week of local produce for you with some recognisable names intertwined. Tomorrow night, Kim Churchill will be taking to the Unibar, touring his second album, Weight Falls. Described as intricate guitar work, intuitive vocal melodies, and a wonderful feeling of space and warmth, Kim is bound to lull you into your weekend. But if a relaxing Friday night isn't your thing, Taraji Beach Hotel will have you psyched up for the weekend, with Grinspoon and Hockey Dad taking to the stage. The post-grunge Aussie rockers are celebrating their 20th anniversary of their debut album, taking their sound around the nation through to the end of September. And joining them are local favourites Hockey Dad. The pair from Windang have been adopted by Wollongong and have been surfing the local scene for years, just coming off the back of a tour with Dune Rats in Canada. And local band Trollhaugen will be gracing us with their wonderful weirdness on Saturday night at Unibar. Described as Elfman-esque orchestrations, Zappa-like technicality, Looney Tune-ish chaos and Skrillexian electro vibes, we've been advised to put on your sparkly pink hot pants and high-five your grandma because it is about to get spooky. But if that doesn't sound like your thing, then Radbar will be welcoming Queensland four-piece band Pandemic. The indie punk rock band lists their favourite artists as Dune Rats, Violent Soho, Sticky Fingers, Nirvana and more. And if any of those bands take your fancy, definitely head down and stick your head in to see what Pandemic is whipping out. And last but definitely not least, Camp Cope will be gracing the stage of Uni Bar on Wednesday night. The three-piece indie punkers reigning from Melbourne have been described as a force in modern music, a wholly independent band who will only do things on their terms and never compromising their values. So stick your toes out and go experience the wonder of live music we have available to us here in Wollongong, and stay tuned for what's happening in the Muse each Thursday.
I don't think I'll be able to cope if I miss out on Camp Cope.
All right, well, guys, that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
I've been Brad.
I'm Caitlin. Bye.